Don't argue with the people that you can't really win an argument with. I'll explain. Most people, I don't know if you've ever dealt with a person that just wants to argue for the sake of arguing, right? Whether this is your relationship, your spouse, or maybe your clients, somebody that you work with. That's something that I've come to realize in my life. Don't spend your energy with people that just want to be right. Correct? Like, it's almost kind of scary where if you follow just trying to be right, you're having an argument and you're just trying to be right. Like, who is the right person in this argument? Even if you win the argument and you're right, like, you just spent fucking 50 minutes arguing about who is right. You just spent your freaking life doing it. Your energy gets strained and it's stupid. A lot of people are stuck in that pattern. They just want to be right. Dude, it's not about being right. It's about it working. It's about solving the solution. So whenever you get somebody like that in your life and you start to get triggered, pay attention to that triggering effect and just try to take a step back. I started trying to do that with people in my life where I'm just in a position where I'm just so exhausted of anything that is not positive in growth for me at this moment, because I need it to get to the next stage of my life. And so I can recognize it real quick when somebody's just stuck in a fucking loop and they just want to argue. I do it sometimes too. It's not like I'm totally immune to it, but sometimes it's harder to see it in yourself than to see it in others, right? And so whenever you're seeing it in others and then you get triggered, it's like, holy shit, like if I add to that fire, we're just gonna get into a crazy argument that's not gonna solve anything. And most of the times it's just like mental blocks that person has, and it's almost a problem that has nothing to do with what you're arguing with. So even if you're arguing about that specific thing, it's not gonna solve anything. You see what I'm saying? That's why Buddhist monks, that's like this whole vibe of the monk saying to, I'll explain it in different examples, but there's this, I think, how do you call it, like a parable? It's like a story. So a story about a monk that I think the story goes something along the lines of like, this monk has lived to be 100 plus years old, and his health is like in freaking amazing health. He looks amazing for being that age, and somebody asked him, people always ask him, what's the secret to live a long life, to live a peaceful and prosperous and healthy life? And the monk said, I never contradict anybody. I never go against anybody's thoughts or beliefs. I never try to change anybody's mind. That's the secret. The guy then was like, he couldn't believe the answer that the monk gave him. So he's like, dude, absolutely no way that's the fucking secret. Like, you must be eating something. You must be doing some type of exercise. Please tell me. It can't just be that. And the monk just said, you're right. End of story. And so you'll live in peacefulness if you don't go into those traps. Be careful. When you feel that triggering effect, just pause, try to breathe. I know it's freaking hard, but the triggers are the things that, the trigger is the tipping point. When you have a trigger, it's the tipping point between falling back into your old patterns and being who you've been so far, or deciding who to be different. That's when you start rewriting your subconscious. When you start taking different actions from your triggers, you become conscious of the trigger, and you're like, fuck, I always take this type of action. I'm gonna take this action now. Boom. And then you're like, no, I'm not gonna argue today. And you win that trigger. That is growth. That is when you'll start to reprogram your subconscious and start to get better. Stop arguing with these fucks. Stop wasting time. Enjoy your freaking life. Stop trying to be right all the time if you're the person on the other side. Okay? And yeah, man, enjoy it. End of transmission. Peace.